Hi everyone, we are Group 22 from the Faculty of Pharmacy and Biomedical Science. Huh?
Start lah.
Hey everyone, we are Group 22 from the Faculty of Pharmacy and Biomedical Science. We are Diploma in Medical Laboratory Technology students. So before we are doing a case study on 1MDB scandal.
Hi, I'm Risha Sarna here.
Hi, I'm Erin Manisha Anthony Selvam here.
Hi, I'm Nurinda Irina binti Muhammad Zaini here.
Hi, I'm Lee Houting here.
Hi, I'm Kartini Sarvanan here.
Hi, I'm Nomish Marsha binti Abdul Wahid here.
Hi, I'm Shakti Shori Mageshwaran here.
Hi, I'm Nur Damia Umaira binti Hasmadi here.
Hi, I'm Muhammad Darinyo here.
So this is our table of content.
As the introduction and background of the case study, the 1MDB scandal stands as the most extensive corruption case in Malaysian history, involving the misappropriation of billions of dollars from one Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB, state-owned investment fund established to promote national economic growth. Investigation revealed that large sums of money were legally inverted through the complex international financial networks for personal and political gain, leading widespread media attention and investigation multiple countries, include the United States, Switzerland, and Singapore. This case study examines the background of the 1MDB scandal, the key issue of involved, the consequence that followed, highlighting the critical importance of the good governance, transparency, and accountability in public financial management.
The central problem in the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB scandal is the large-scale misappropriation of public funds intended for national development. Although 1MDB raised more than $10 billion through bonds and loans, approximately $4.5 billion was cheap-owned off through fraudulent transactions involving shell companies, fictitious investment, and complex offshore structures. Instead of being channeled into infrastructures and economic growth initiatives, substantial portion of these funds were diverted to finance luxury assets such as yachts, high-end real estates, and artwork. This extensive diversion of resources left 1MDB burdened with around $11 billion in debt, ultimately transferring financial risk to the Malaysian government and taxpayers. A major issue contributing to this problem was severe corporate governance failure within 1MDB. The board of directors and senior management did not exercise adequate oversight and routinely bypassed established approval process. High-risk joint ventures, including the partnership with Petro-Saudi International, were approved without proper due diligence or verification of investment legitimacy. Weak internal controls, limited transparency, and concentration of decision-making power enabled executives and politically connected individuals to authorize opaque transactions with minimal accountability. Another critical issue was a breakdown of regulatory and compliance mechanism at both national and international levels. Billions of dollars were laundered across multiple jurisdictions using layered transactions designed to conceal their origin. Financial institutions involved in this transaction failed to apply effective anti-money laundering controls, allowing suspicious fund flows to proceed without timely reporting. The lack of coordinated international oversight further facilitated the movement of illicit funds through offshore financial centers. Additionally, political interference and the involvement of high-ranking officials intensified the scale of the misconduct. Allegation that senior political leaders personally benefited from 1MDB funds indicate a deep erosion of ethical standards and abuse of public office. This intersection of political power and financial crime undermined accountability mechanism and weakened public trust in government institutions. Together, these issues constitute the core problem statement and issue identification for the 1MDB scandal.
The, the 1MDB scandal involves several key individuals and institutions that play major roles in the misappropriation and movement of funds. The most important parties include political leaders, business figures, and financial institutions. First, Najib Razak, the former Prime Minister of Malaysia and chairman of the 1MDB advisory board that played a key political role in the scandal. He was later charged and convicted for corruption and abuse of power related to funds from 1MDB. Second, Jono was a Malaysian financier widely believed to be the main mastermind behind the scheme. Although he did not hold any official position in 1MDB, he was heavily involved in arranging complex financial transactions to divert funds. As of today, Jono remains a fugitive and has not been arrested. Next, Fiza Aziz. Najib Razak's stepson was the co-founder of Red Granite Pictures, a film production company. Fund links to 1MDB were used to finance several Hollywood movies, including The Wolf of Wall Street, highlighting how misappropriated public money was used for personal and luxury purposes. Another key parties involved is Goldman Sachs, an international investment bank which helped raise billions of dollars for 1MDB through bond deals. Two of its former bankers, Tim Lesner and Roger Ng, were directly involved in the transaction. Lesner pleaded guilty to bribery and money laundering, while Roger Ng was convicted in the United States for his role in the scandal. Lastly, Romah Mansor, the wife of Najib Razak, was also linked to corruption cases during the same period, reinforcing public perceptions of misuse of public funds at the highest political level.
The 1MDB scandal serves as a quintessential case study in the catastrophic failure of fiduciary responsibility and the erosion of institutional integrity. From a normative ethical perspective, the crisis underscores a profound conflict of interest, where the pursuit of private accumulation superseded the government's mandate to manage public assets for national advancement. The systematic diversion of capital through convoluted financial structure was not merely a regulatory bypass, but a deliberate violation of the social contract, as it stripped the citizenry of resources intended for socio-economic development. Furthermore, the crisis highlights the moral hazard inherent in global finance, where complicity of international intermediaries, such as a prioritization of commission-based profit over ethical due diligence. Ultimately, the 1MDB narratives demonstrate that without robust framework for accountability and transparency, the concentration of power inevitably leads to systematic kleptocracy, leaving the public to inherit the resulting fiscal and reputational liabilities.
The 1MDB scandal triggered a massive global legal crackdown spanning multiple countries, primarily focusing on the theft of over 4.5 billion from the state fund. At the heart of the case are serious charges of money laundering, bribery, and criminal breach of trust, as investigators uncovered a massive web of offshore accounts and shell companies used to hide the stolen cash. In Malaysia, the legal fallout was historic, leading to the conviction of former Prime Minister Najib Razak, who was found guilty on 7 counts related to the misappropriation of 42 million from SRC International. Beyond Malaysia borders, the US Department of Justice launched massive civil forfeiture suit to seize high-end assets like luxury apartment and famous painting that were bought with the laundered money. Even major global banks were not spared. Goldman Sachs ended up paying billions in settlement to both the US and Malaysian governments for its role in the bond deals that made the whole fraud possible.
The 1MDB scandal had a major negative impact on Malaysia, especially on its economy, governance, and global image. Internationally, the scandal damaged Malaysia's reputation as it was linked to one of the world's largest corruption cases and investigated by several foreign countries, reducing investor confidence. Financially, 1MDB accumulated billions of ringgit in debt, and much of the burden was later taken over by the government, increasing national debt and indirectly affecting citizens' stock, reduced public funds. Domestically, the scandal weakened public trust in government, institutions, and leadership due to allegations of corruption and abuse of power. As a result, widespread public protests and demands for accountability emerged, contributing to political change and calls for stronger transparency and governance reforms in Malaysia.
Case analysis, the 1MDB case is the best understood as a systematic failure rather than a single act of corruption. Although 1MDB was created to support national development, it operated within a weak governance structure that lacked effective checks and balance. Excessive borrowing, limited transparency, and concentrated decision-making power allowed risky and unethical practice to continue without proper challenge. Critically, the problem was not just misconduct, but a system that failed to control it. At a deeper level of analysis, the scandal reveals how political influence weakened institutional independence and discourage accountability. Oversight body and management fail to caution decision, allowing responsibility to shift and blur across institutions. This failure result in serious consequences, including loss of public trust, damage to Malaysia's international reputation, and long-term financial burden on taxpayers. Ultimately, the 1MDB case highlights that strong governance, ethical leadership, independent oversight are essential to prevent systematic failure, to ensure public resources are managed responsibility.
The case study highlights several important lessons regarding governance and financial management. A lack of transparency enables corruptions, demonstrating the importance of independent audits and clear reporting systems. Weak governance structures can lead to the misuse of public funds, while strong internal controls and ethical leadership help prevent such abuse. Gaps in anti money laundering systems show the need of effective monitoring to detect irregular transaction at an early stage. Political interference can delay justice, emphasizing the importance of an independent judiciary and law enforcement to strengthen accountability. In addition, cross border cooperation is essential as global collaborations helps trace and recover stolen assets. Overall, corruption significantly affects both the economy and society, causing citizens, investors, and future generations to suffer from financial mismanagement.
Recommendation or solution for the 1MDB scandal to prevent scandal like 1MDB from recurring, several ethical and practical solutions must be implemented. Firstly, strengthening governance and accountability mechanism is essential. Public institutions should establish strict auditing procedure and independent oversight bodies to monitor financial transactions. Transparent reporting of public funds must be mandatory, ensuring that every decision made by leaders can be scrutinized effectively. This will minimize opportunities for abuse of power and corruption. Secondly, implementing strict anti-corruption laws and enforcement is crucial. Legal frameworks should not only penalize corrupt action but also serve as a deterrent to potential wrongdoers. Whistleblower protection should be enforced to encourage individuals to report unethical conduct without a fear of retaliation. By promoting a culture accountability, ethical behavior will be incentivized and violation will carry tangible consequences. Thirdly, in can, enhancing ethical education and leadership training can foster a culture of integrity in public service. Future leaders must be educated on moral responsibility, transparency, and the importance of public trust. Continuous training program on ethical decision making will equip officials with the knowledge and mindset required to resist temptation of personal gain and uphold moral standards. Finally, establishing international collaboration for financial monitoring can help detect and prevent cross-border financial misconduct, since corruption and fund misappropriation often involve global transactions. Cooperation with international financial institutions and regulatory bodies is necessary to track illicit flows of money and enforce accountability on a wider scale.
The 1MDB scandal is a powerful reminder of how corruption can deeply affect a country and its people. Money that was supposed to help Malaysia grow and improve public welfare was instead misused for personal luxury and hidden financial activities. Because of this, the scandal did not only cause financial loss but also damaged Malaysia's reputation around the world. This case shows how important honesty and responsibility are when handling public funds. When leaders or authorities misuse powers, it breaks public trust and creates unfairness in society. Many Malaysians felt disappointed and frustrated because the funds involved were meant to support national development and benefit the public. The 1MDB scandal also teach that corruption can involve many countries and organizations, making it harder to control if proper monitoring systems are not in place. Strong laws, transparent financial management, and responsible leadership are very important to prevent such cases from happening again. Learning from this scandal can help build a more trustworthy and fair system for the future.
So that's it from us, Group 22. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.